Hey, everybody, welcome to Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George Touliatos, and brought to you by his book, The Bible of Bodybuilding 2, over 700 pages, jam-packed with everything you need to know about training, nutrition, supplementation, PEDs, stocked with information. Get that on Amazon.com. And while you're on Amazon.com, you can get my book, Real Bodybuilding. Great reviews. People love it. And now all the way from a very hot place in the world today, Athens, Greece, please welcome Dr. George Touliatos. How are you, Doc?
I'm fine, Ron. How are you doing?
Good. So we had a contest over in Europe, Alicante, Spain, the Empro Classic. It was a comeback of William Bonac. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you catch some of that?
Yeah, I mean, from Milos posting, where first of all, I thought Bonac was going to retire, but he came back with vengeance, and he has great quality, he's packed with mass, hard, grainy, great separation. He was a class on his own, another level from the other competitors. But it was a very tough lineup, the top three. You see Criso, who's by far the best, let's say white European, and he looks small compared to Bonac in the legs, in the back.
Yeah.
And also Milos Hazard, who was first runner-up, is also phenomenal. Very hard, thick muscles, separated. I believe Criso needs to. I mean, he deserves to qualify. But look at the level here in the European contest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Beirut Tabani, second place. A lot of people had him winning. They thought he was good enough to beat Bonac. I had him.
I don't think so, because Bonac is so much packed and dense and thick, and the maturity of the muscle. Look at the back, and the hams and the glutes. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it was close. It was close. It came down to it. There were 1 point difference.
Bonac is now 42. Look at him.
He's getting up there.
Yeah, I mean, great achievement, because the stamina and the endurance now in the 40s is not the same. You have quality, but yeah, he looks great. He looks as good as 2 years ago. I mean, like he didn't miss any, quality.
Some people think he looked a little smaller. Did you think he looked smaller, Bonac?
I don't know, perhaps an illusion. I don't know. Perhaps he looked fuller, but he was good enough to beat the other two competitors that could also win in other shows.
Yeah. No, I mean, usually guys, especially if you're past 40 and you leave for a year or more and come back, it's not good. People usually don't look as good. They start going down.
Jay, when he did that in his 40s.
So Bonac has been second place at the Olympia. He could come back and do top 5, top 6 maybe this year.
I think he was number 7 2 years ago. He said, "That's all. That's all.
Yeah,
this is it." I believe Criso is the most aesthetic, but he lacks of mass compared to Bonac in the legs, and perhaps in the back. It's his weak department. But all of them could win, in other shows, and all of them, I guess, deserve to be on the Olympia stage.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Beirut he's qualified for the Olympia a couple times, but he can't get a visa to the United States.
That's another story,
Yeah, because he's from Iran, and we don't have any diplomatic relations with Iran at all, the USA. So, yeah. So, congratulations, William Bonac, the conqueror, age 42.
Very tight.
Great comeback. All right. And then we got another one coming up Sunday in Italy, the Flex Pro. It's coming. There are all these Europe. And then Portugal the week after that, I think. Yeah. A lot of shows in Europe coming up.
Milos was in the show. He moved to Europe now.
Oh, Milos was there.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Good for him.
And now I think Andrea Presti is in Italy, who's trying to make qualification.
Presti, Nathan DeAsher is going to be there. I think Hunter Labrada is going to be at the Italy show.
Criso also, I guess.
Criso, yeah. They all want to win. Beirut will be there, I bet. Why not? So.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get to some questions. Here we go with question number 1 from you guys, the viewers. Good question here. My hormones are normal, so I assume he means testosterone is in the normal range, but I have no libido. What could be the reason and how to improve it?
Normal doesn't mean optimal, okay? So you need to have the free testosterone to the roof. Estradiol to be not super low. You need to be prolactin, okay, optimized. And SHBG low to liberate the free testosterone. So You need to check that. Even though if this is okay, then I think you need to introduce some HCG or as a libido enhancer.
So all those values that you just mentioned, doctor, have you ever seen a patient had all those values in the ranges you like to see, but they still had low sex drive, low libido?
Well, I guess yeah, some of them are not or aerobic dysfunction. This is another thing about blood flow. But I guess then when you start using TRT, after a while you hit a plateau because your testicles are shrinking, and then you need to use some HCG.
Yeah.
That is a game changer to the sex drive.
Yeah, it's pretty great, and it's Proviron too. You've mentioned is great for sex drive.
Oh, yeah, Proviron, but if you don't have Proviron, then you need to increase your testosterone dose. Yeah, because this is also another way. But Proviron, yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. Next question. I've read about how insulin works to build muscle, and it has a lot of anti-inflammation qualities too. Does it make sense to take insulin for someone with overall body pain?
I don't think it has anti-inflammatory. Actually, too much insulin is inflammatory. This is what Steve Blackman told us so many times. Don't abuse insulin because it will give you visceral fat that releases inflammatory cytokines that affects the vessels, the arteries, the endothelium. So insulin builds muscle, not like testosterone through aldosterone, or not like GH like through DNA synthesis, but because it's a nourishing hormone, it feeds the muscle by increasing the mTOR through the leucine. So you assimilate more protein that has to be rich in leucine, and leucine kicks the mTOR, okay? So insulin feeds the muscle, okay? While testosterone kicks aldosterone that retains water, and GH makes new cells through DNA synthesis, So three different things. But insulin, yes, it's good to feed the muscle post-workout when you have insulin sensitivity, A little bit of insulin is not bad. 5, I use, let's say, post-workout, or 10 if you're a big guy. But don't overdo it, and especially during the cutting phase, okay?
Yeah. So just to be clear, I've never heard that. You just clarified that this gentleman was incorrect. Insulin does not have anti-inflammatory properties. If anything, it is inflammatory.
Yeah, right? Because let's take a casual guy who doesn't lift. He eats too much and releases insulin. He becomes obese. It comes the metabolic syndrome, which is an inflammatory disease. All right, all the fat people have this metabolic syndrome that leads to higher mortality. And usually people with low testosterone have developed already metabolic syndrome because without testosterone, you have less capacity to burn fat. Yeah. Okay. And then you start growing fat that leads you to diabetes and metabolic syndrome, obesity, and other things.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, we just mentioned HCG. I have another question here with HCG mentioned in. How can I avoid sterilization during TRT? Should I inject? I think you meant to say HCG. What's the protocol for that?
So I think 1,000 IUs are fair enough in order to stimulate the Leydig cells. Yeah. But actually, HCG doesn't increase the sperm in first place. It decreases intratesticular testosterone through the Leydig cells that will mature the sperm. Okay. But if you want to do the real deal protocol, you need to use HMG that kicks the Sertoli cells. Okay, and if you combine it with HCG, it's a miraculous combination that you can develop from a few hundred of spermatocytes to some thousands, and then through IVF you can fertilize. And I have achieved that with a couple of guys that are almost zero. Let's say close to azoospermia in first look, but they managed to conceive through, of course, doing a biopsy and then an IVF. Yeah. All right. But now that I'm already expecting my second baby in January, I decided to stop my HCG. My testicle will shrink and my cum shot will be small, So I told Nancy, it's enough here, okay? We shouldn't fool around. I don't like condoms. So I'll stop the HCG because, I kept it 10 years because I wanted to become a father someday. Right. But now it's enough.
Two's good. Yeah. Man, oh boy. course, you know what's funny? There's one of these 90 Day Fiance shows, like 5 of them here. There's a guy who is he's a sperm donor, but he goes around the world and I think he has sex with most of the women. He does. Anyway, he said he takes certain supplements. He got his sperm count up to 240 million per milliliter. It's almost like
the highest I've ever heard is 120.
Wow. So this guy's got a world record.
It depends also how much volume of sperm you have, but 120, come on. I had 40 million to 60 million was enough, you know.
That's good. That's plenty to get somebody pregnant, right?
Like playing a lottery. If you have more chances by mathematics, you know.
Okay, gotcha. Swimmers. All right. Back to some steroid questions. Masteron and Primobolan are both DHT derivatives. Both lower E2 and HDL. So through blood work, how do you know what's real primo and not Masteron instead?
Listen, I don't think they lower, but they don't increase because they don't convert to estrogen. But frankly, when I wrote an article for Bill Welling in the Anabolics, how to distinguish between fake through blood work, fake steroids, this is what they do, these bastards. So because both are DHT derivatives, both don't convert to estrogens, and both have primo is slower release.
Yeah.
But because both are DHT derivatives and they don't convert to estrogen, they should have similar effects. Okay, but let's say if it was testosterone propionate with primo, yeah, obviously testosterone would increase the estrogen, unlike primo, or the same goes for master.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to distinguish in that, you know. Both of them are toxic.
Yeah.
Are not 70 alkylated.
Well, you just mentioned Bill Llewellyn. Bill Llewellyn sells a kit that you can test, right?
Yeah, of course, but we're talking about the blood work. Now, I think if Masteron has more androgenic affinity for SHBG, so it should crash more the SHBG because primo is very weak androgenic. That's why it's used from women. So I guess Masteron will liberate more of the free testosterone than primo. That has less affinity. That's my assumption.
Yeah. And I mean, this gentleman's only concerned because Primobolan is more expensive. So if somebody's selling you Masteron and calling it Primobolan, they're making a lot more money off you and you're not getting.
It's also a cosmetic rare drug, you know. Who's going to use Masteron? Only pre-contest.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at people that use drugs like contest prep drugs like all the time. You'd be surprised. All right. Next one. My total test is within range, but on the low end, and free T is 0.7 with a range of 0.9 to 3.0. My endocrinologist and I decided to start TRT therapy. What's your opinion? And should I add 25 milligrams DHEA daily?
You can increase your free testosterone by using Proviron or Boron and DHEA also. I don't think Proviron is available in the States.
Yeah.
I have a protocol in Greece that I almost double total and free testosterone within 3 weeks. But the point is, it doesn't remain there after a while, depending also on the lifestyle. But now, listen, endos are very, let's say, they're hesitating to introduce you to the testosterone unless you are, I mean, you have to be really close to the deadline.
Yeah.
Deadline to introduce you. And certainly the free testosterone is a real deal. So this is somebody who knows his shit, you know.
Yeah.
But we could increase. I mean, if this guy had access to Proviron, you can use some Proviron with clomiphene to elevate both total and free testosterone and escape from this danger zone. But okay, I mean, if you use TRT, it's all good then, and you resurrect from death within 1 month.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny that he asked what you think about TRT. Obviously, we talk about TRT being great for people who need it every week. So,
yeah.
Okay. Next one. I've been told that prolonged use of clenbuterol, and tren or trenbolone can enlarge and remodel your heart and arteries. Is substituting cardarine for clenbuterol a good idea to mitigate this heart remodeling issue?
Yeah, but the problem here is the hydrogenicity of tren that will build thick muscle, and also the heart will follow. So it's not just the clenbuterol, it's about the trenbolone that's 5 times more androgenic than testosterone. Yeah. And then you're going to live vigorously, you know, and then we'll build a thicker heart in the long run. Now, cardarine is something that doesn't increase the blood pressure, but switches burning from glycogen to fat. Okay, somebody needs to do endurance and cardio in order to use the cardio ring. Unlike the plane that increases your heart rate and your blood pressure, you have a nasty cervical pain over here.
Hmm.
Okay, but yes, it can affect also the heart with LVH in the long run. The use of plane.
Right. What is cardarine? Is that a drug? Is that a SARM? I don't know.
It's not a sum actually, but it's a compound that is useful to increase your stamina and endurance during your cardio, but it also switches the fat burning from fat instead of the caloric expenditure from fat instead of from glycogen, but also it increases the HDL, supposedly.
All right, cool. Question about T3. How do you taper down and stop T3 and regain thyroid function after a T3 cutting cycle?
Yeah, you need to do it slowly, never go turkey. But I think it's very important to use also T4 because T4 will convert to T3. If you use a monodose of T3, you run out of T4 stores that are very, they're how to say the word valuable in order to convert to T3, which is the active form. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert in that, but you need to follow, of course, the TSH, which is something very important. And mind that the axis of the thyroid is way more sensitive than the androgens. Okay.
Yeah.
So selenium can help a lot with the TSH. All right, but make sure you don't overdo this cutting cycle more than 4 weeks. I would say go 25, 50, 50, and 25 again. That's what I describe in my book. Very conservative with it. Don't mess up with the T3, okay?
Yeah,
and GH, yeah, but if you mess it up, then you go for life hypothyroidic.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who have done that, and they're on thyroid meds for the rest of their life now.
Yeah. If you cross the balance, it's over. Yeah.
Okay. Next question. My wife and I have been active in the gym for years. We're both 54. Hey, that's my age. And now train together. However, we're both experiencing tendonitis in our forearms to the side of our elbows. At times, it feels like it's almost burning. I've heard that DECA can help with joint pain, but will a low dose also help at all with tendon issues?
I don't think so, no. DECA is notorious for lubricating the synovial cavity of the joints. But about tendonitis, you need to use non-steroid inflammatory drugs, even cortisone, or also BPC 157. Okay, it's very nasty because the light is over here, the tennis elbow. Like you cannot switch and supinate doing the twisting curls,
Yep.
or the reverse for the forearms.
Yeah.
It was so nasty for me, I couldn't press the remote control,
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's really bad, you can't do any kind of extension movement for the triceps. It kills.
Yeah.
Talk about when it's here. This is tennis elbow. I used to have golfer's elbow on the inside. I've never played golf or tennis, so I don't know what the hell was going on there. All right, we talked about azoospermia a few minutes ago, and our final question is, this is a gentleman from Indonesia. A few weeks ago, he wrote to you. He said, I'm the azoospermia guy. Thanks for your help. My sperm count now is 7 million, but my LH, luteinizing hormone, is just 7.7 MIU per ml. FSH is just 9.7, and test level only at 3.1 nanograms per milliliter. What medication should I take?
Yeah, this guy's close to hypergonadism. I guess the LH seems not just. It's above the mid-range, the LH. Now, hopefully he has 7 million, and he can improve that by using HCG and HMG. But the point, he has only 310 testosterone. He needs to be introduced into testosterone and never miss the HCG, and also stack the HMG if you wanted to improve that sperm count.
Yeah.
So TRT, but HRT actually, by using testosterone, HCG, HMG. All right, stack some throw some zinc and vitamin E for your sperm motility.
Yeah.
And be patient because it takes a few weeks to mature, okay?
Yeah. We just said, or you were just saying, a normal sperm count is like 40 to 60 million?
Well, over 20. Over 20.
20 is good. Okay. Well, he's getting there. He's getting there. Certainly 7 million is better than 0, right? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. We just need only one swimmer, only one.
Swimmers. All right, guys. I want to remind you before we leave to please, if you like these videos, subscribe, like, share, and ring that bell. When I say share it on your social media platform so your friends can get some of this good info. Hopefully they'll find out about the show. And yeah, this has been another episode. So please support the show and give yourself a good education with this book, Bible of Bodybuilding 2, 700 plus pages on Amazon.com. Doctor, we're so lucky to have you every week here, and you're doing this late night, and it's hot as hell over there, and yeah, you're just a trooper, man. So thank you so much, Doctor. Appreciate what you do for us every week. Remember, guys, this is the only show on YouTube where you can get your questions answered by a medical doctor who was also a champion bodybuilder. He's one of us, but he's got a bigger brain. So that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching Ask Dr. Testosterone with Dr. Georgia and Touliatos. We'll see you next time.